Hello and welcome to Scrapbooking Cards Today here on YouTube. My name is Mirisha. Thank you for joining me. Mother's Day is right around the corner, so what better way to prepare than to create a Mother's Day card? Let's go ahead and get started. Using the Lagoon cardstock from Spellbinders, I created a 4¼ by 5½ inch top folding card base. I used a rectangle die to die cut a gold mat and 2 white card panels. Let's go ahead and measure them. The white panels are 3¾ by 5 inches, and the gold mat is cut down to 4 inches by 5¼ inches. You do have the option to use a rectangle die set to die cut the panels, or you can cut them down to size. Next, I'm going to bring in Scrapbook.com's Sprinkles paper pad. This is actually one of my favorite paper pads. It's filled with an array of beautiful colors, along with Scrapbook.com's Market Floral Blooms die set. I love their floral dies. This is actually one of their latest dies that they've added exclusively to their line of products. I'm also going to bring in the Sprigs die set. And off camera, I die cut a few flowers and leaves for this project. Using the classic type die set from scrapbook.com, I love this set. It has uppercase and lowercase letters. I selected the lowercase M and O to die cut Mom from gold and white cardstock. I also use black cardstock to die cut the letters because I'm going to share with you a tip later on in this tutorial. Now I'm going to bring in one of my white panels along with the nested large butterflies die set. I'm going to use the smallest butterfly die and I'm going to position it on the panel. I am going to apply a piece of mint tape to the die just to make sure it is secured. I'm then going to run the panel through my die cutting machine. This will create the window for my card. To finish creating the window for my card, I'm going to bring in a piece of acetate. And then on the back of the panel, I'm going to apply adhesive tape. And then I'm going to adhere the acetate to the back of the panel. If you do not have any acetate in your stash, I encourage you to search your stash and see if you have any cellophane packaging that could be used to create the window for this project. Using my scissors, I'm now going to cut the excess acetate from my panel, but you can feel free to use a trimmer. I'm now bringing in the second panel along with Distress Oxide Salty Ocean and my blending brush to apply the oxide on the panel. Instead of applying oxide to a white panel, you do have the option to use a piece of colored cardstock for your background for this project. Now I'm going to bring in my tray of flowers and I'm going to position them on the panel. Periodically, I'm going to bring in the window and just use it as a guide to make sure I have enough flowers on the panel. Once I'm done applying the flowers, I'm going to bring in the greenery and just fill in some of the areas on the panel. And then once I'm done, I'm going to use liquid adhesive and foam tape to adhere the flowers to the panel. And once I'm done, it is time for the next step. Now I'm going to bring in the letters and I'm going to use liquid adhesive to stack them together. However, you do have the option to use a thin strip of foam tape on the back of the letters to add dimension to your project. I just really enjoy stacking my sentiment die cuts and letters. To me, it adds a really clean, polished look to my projects. Now I'm going to position and adhere the letters to my window. I'm using the grid on my mat as a guide just to make sure I have proper placement of the letters. And just to make sure the panel doesn't move, as you see, I added a piece of mint tape to the top of my panel. I am using adhesive tape to adhere the letters to the window. And once I'm done, it is on to the next step. Now I'm going to bring in a roll of foam tape from scrapbook.com, and I'm going to apply the foam tape to the back of the window. This card was inspired by a shadow box. I love shadow box projects, the ones that have the beautiful flowers in them and the recipient's name or message on the front of the window. So I thought, what better way to use that as inspiration for this project? Next, I'm going to adhere the floral panel to the gold mat. And I'm just making sure it's lined up. And then from there, I'm going to remove the backing paper from the foam tape, and then I'm going to adhere the window to the panel. Next, we're going to do some stamping, so I'm going to head on over to my stamp wheel where I'm going to bring in the All Heart stamp set from scrapbook.com. I selected the You Are My Heart sentiment. I'm going to position it on the wheel. I'm now going to use black ink to ink up the stamp. Once done, I'm going to flip the wheel, apply pressure, which will allow me to stamp the sentiment on the cardstock. I'm then going to use a banner die to die cut the sentiment off camera, or you can trim the banner down to size. I'm then going to bring in the blending brush that has Salty Ocean that I use to apply to the panel, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to the banner. I'm then going to add a piece of foam tape to the back of the banner, and then I'm going to position and adhere the banner to my card front. Once I'm done adhering the banner to my card front, I'm going to apply liquid adhesive to the back, and then I'm going to adhere the card front to my card base. This next step is optional, but I wanted to give you some options. You can leave the letters as is for this project, or you can die cut the letters from black cardstock and offset them, creating a shadow halo effect on your project. Another option is to, instead of using gold cardstock for your die cuts, you can use black. I always encourage creative identity and experimenting before you commit while creating your projects. Whatever vision that you have for your project, I encourage you to go for it. Also, you can switch out the letters. Instead of adding mom for this project, maybe you want to add sister or aunt, or you may want to personalize it by adding the recipient's name. To add a final touch to this project, I adhered a few gold half pearls. And since I used a darker cardstock for my card base, I adhered a white panel on the inside of my card. And just like that, we created a shadow box inspired Mother's Day card. Perfect to create for your loved one this upcoming Mother's Day. Thank you for joining me on today here on the Scrapbook and Cards Today YouTube channel. I appreciate you for stopping by. I hope this project inspires you to create. I thank you in advance for subscribing, clicking the thumbs up button and the notification bell so you never miss out on new tutorials. I am sending you love and a whole lot of hugs. Until the next crafty project, please take care.